I had to free up some memory space on my phone because it wouldn't record any more videos. So to pick up where I left off on the previous video, so when reptilians are bred with humans, they become hybrids, and they can inherit some of the traits of a reptilian. I mean, they could be like 90% human and have some reptilian traits. So my ex, his eyes were shape-shifting, and that's all I know about him. And I also know that he's sadistic, and that's a reptilian character trait. They like to see other people in pain. They like to they thrive off of their power trips and how powerful they can be over another human being. It makes them feel powerful to be able to squash other human beings. And that's what my ex was doing to me. Now, the second time I saw his eyes shapeshift was probably about 22 years later, when God told me to go home. And my brother had forbid me to go back to that house because my brother hates my ex, because my ex was horrible to me and very, very rude to my brother as well. So my brother, and you know, every time I go back, I get sabotaged. But God told me to go back to the house, so I went back, knocked on the front door, and Mark answers the door. He didn't open the door all the way. He just cracked it. And I said, Mark, do you want to talk about this? Because we're going through a divorce. I said, Mark, you want to talk about it? I didn't know to go back. I just went back. So Mark didn't say anything. His eyes turned into slits. And I got this real gross feeling, like I can sense demons, right? So I kind of sensed a demon when I saw his eyes shift. I mean, not kind of, but I did. I have that sense, that sixth sense, or I don't know if it's a seventh sense. But anyway, then I said the same thing I did when I saw it happen the first time, a long, like probably 30 years ago or 20 years ago. I said, Mark, what's going on with your eyes? And he goes, it's a disease. And I go, are you a reptilian and are your eyes shape-shifting? And he goes, it's a disease. And I go, what disease is it? And he was silent. He didn't have anything to say. And I thought to myself, yeah, that's why God wanted me to come back. God wanted me to see this happen. And he wanted me to remember that it happened 20 years ago. And I had just forgotten about it all these years because I didn't know about reptilians way back then. And so when I saw it happen again, it just solidified in my mind that what I was seeing was really real. I don't think it's a disease. I think my ex is his eyes were shape-shifting into reptilian slits. And that explains why he will never probably repent for the way he treated me. He was destroying my life at every opportunity he possibly could have. He was sabotaging everything, and he liked to see me in misery. It wasn't even very pleasant to go on vacations with him because he always had something to do. He would always find some way to destroy the vacation and make it a living holy fucking nightmare. I mean, everything was a holy fucking nightmare with him. Like, it just, and that's why, you know, I did my best to make the marriage work for 22 years, but that was God's way of telling me, you know, I want you to move on. It's not going to work. And don't feel guilty about filing for divorce. Don't feel guilty. You know, God doesn't expect anyone to be abused. I have been beaten. I have been lied to. I have had my reputation destroyed several times. Bullied nonstop. Torn down in every possible way. But I don't, you know, I have some supernatural stories, and I think those were on some of the videos that got removed. I've been accused of being schizophrenic because I saw angels. And I've only seen angels one time in my entire life. And they were, but like all of these supernatural things, like I removed all the videos because we were going through a divorce and Mark was probably spying on me, and I just feel really creepy about him spying on me all the time, and he's like calling me schizophrenic, and he started abusing me even more once I put the videos up. He doesn't want anything spiritual. I don't think he's a spiritual person. So, and I'm the extreme opposite end of the polar end of a spectrum. Like, I'm extremely spiritual. I have spiritual eyesight, probably because I had 2 or 3 or 4 near-death experiences, and it does something to your brain where you are able to see into the spiritual realm. So I do see into the spiritual realm. I see demons. I can feel demons sometimes before I can see them. Sometimes I see them, sometimes I feel them. But anyway, so I've had a lot of supernatural things happen, but recently it kind of stopped. But I know God's still working in my life. I know God's still working in my life. I see synchronicities all the time. I see so many synchronicities. My life is about to change again because I keep seeing 555. And I just pray for it. I just pray it's for the better. I just pray it's for the best. There's a prophet, and I'm still the jury's out to know if he's really hearing from God or not. I don't know if he's hearing from God. I think he is, because I think he is. But I've had such a tough life. I've had such an incredibly hard life because I was raised by a mother who was demonically possessed off and on. And I think she was abused as a kid. Who knows? That's probably why a demon entered her. But she has a really bad problem with a demon, and it's some kind of a werewolf demon. I think that werewolves really did exist at one point in time, or maybe they still do. I don't know. But I think once they died, their spirits roam the earth and they're able to possess people. So I think my mother is possessed by a werewolf spirit and on this channel, I'm going to say the craziest things, and I am not even going to, I'm not going to put a limit on what I can say. I'm just going to say anything. And so, and by the way, I'm not crazy. I'm 100% sane. I'm 100% sane. So I think that my mom was temporarily possessed by a werewolf spirit. If not, she flips back and forth between 2 personalities. She flips from her nice, sweet side over to her demonic side she can do it 2 or 3 times within the same sentence. I mean, I can just see it. I can sit there watching her do this type of thing. And anyway, so I had a really hard life because she poisoned me with arsenic. And I am almost 100% sure she did that. I remember the day it happened. Like, I was out in the field walking my dogs, and I threw up my food. I threw up my dinner, and my life went downhill after that. I used to be a concert pianist, and it's like I never can get my life. People have been attacking me for so many years that I could not make any progression in my life to be a success with anything. Like, I just was never able to. I mean, I won first place in some competitions in the Dallas area. I was the best in Dallas at 18 years old in high school. And I got full scholarships from a professor named Stephen DeGroot, who won the Van Cliburn competition in 1970, and he was teaching at TCU, and I was going to be his student, but he passed away. So I went over to SMU and got a full scholarship there instead, and I studied under Mr. Mullidu, who he was the resident pianist for the Dallas Symphony Orchestra, and before that I studied at Liberty University under